All right, good afternoon. I'm coming on to share a little bit more about why I quit teaching pole about almost a year ago, and what I've been kind of working on in the back of my mind instead, mostly in the back of my mind. It hasn't really come off the page yet, but so basically, I've been a pole teacher since 2013, pretty consistently. I took a couple of breaks, like my first year of grad school and a year around my pregnancies. Um, but I've been teaching pretty consistently since then, and I love it. I love teaching. It's great. It's a wonderful experience. But what started to happen is as I moved my therapy practice more and more towards sex therapy, which is my specialty and like some of my favorite work I get to do, although I love all of it. Um, I was having these like really deep, moving, beautiful sessions like during the day, just being able to dive into someone's like life and history and what they want and what their hangups are. Um, and it felt so magical. And then it just kind of became a sharp contrast with teaching. Like, I felt like teaching, also because by then I wasn't really teaching that much anymore. I was teaching like once a month. So I'd kind of like drop in, and it just was starting to feel very surface level because I wasn't working with the same people over a long period of time and seeing the growth and seeing the change. I would only get this like class with people and then like bye, maybe see you next month, maybe not, maybe see you in 3 months. And it just started to feel really hard to go from having these like really deep, juicy healing containers to having like a very surface level, like dance, dance, bye kind of thing. So that was a big part of why I quit teaching. And so when I quit teaching, I started to think like, well, I do love pole, I love movement, I love like my favorite classes have been the classes or the workshops where I got to see people's journey and watch them like unpack the shame, unpack the trauma, like find this part of themselves, this empowering part of them, this like sexy, bold, flirty side that like had been, hidden away for years, decades. And I started to think about that. I was like, but that's just not accessible in like a typical drop-in pole dancing class. So I put it on the back seat, and then as I was like thinking about it, I was like, well, you know what I'm actually kind of describing that I actually want to do is like pole dance therapy, like being a therapist but using pole dance as like a somatic orientation for therapy, because I'm a somatically informed therapist too, and we do things like rolling a ball or stretching or like holding pillows certain ways, like very very basic movements, but they mean a lot to our nervous systems and our somatic bodies. um and actually someone reflected to me that I was talking to. She was like, hey, I'm actually a creative arts therapist. That's a thing. She uses writing and the visual arts, but she's like, pole dance is dance, dance is a creative art. That is a therapy that exists out there. I don't know if there's pole dance therapy per se, but there's dance therapy. So all this was like percolating in my mind, and I was like, okay, I think where I'm at now is I actually don't want to teach classes anymore. I want to find a way to do pole dance therapy, if not pole dance sex therapy, which is not involve me touching you, just to be clear. But using pole dance, using sensual dance, sensual movement, the connection with the body to heal and find our pleasure and our joy in life and like embody that to the fullest. And so I've basically been sitting on that for like a year. And I haven't quite figured out what to do with it because part of me is like, well, I mean, I'm still doing my somatic training. I'm almost done with my sex therapy certification. Pretty much everything's done except for my supervision hours, which I'm halfway through. Um, I've got some books on expressive arts therapy, but I haven't like looked into any coursework on it yet. But um, that's just really coming to mind, and like I keep kind of coming back to it in like a group format, but groups are so hard to run, y'all, because no one's able to come every week, and in a group like this I would really need everyone to come. So I just wanted to know, well, one, I just want to let you know that this is something I've been thinking about a lot. If you know anyone who's doing it, let me know. I'd love to connect with them. Two, to see like, are you curious about this? Would you like to learn more about my process, as in like figuring out how to do this, like what it's going to look like, and all those pieces. And yeah, I mean, that's just kind of like keeping y'all posted. Like, I think this is such a cool idea. I just think about how much pole has changed my life, how much therapy has changed my life. I'm like, put them together, put your hands together. This is great. And like imagining what that could look like in an individual context as well as like groups and intensives is kind of my goal. So that's where I am. I'm on like step 0 with this, which is like it's been in my mind for a year. If any of you came to my old mindset and movement workshops, those were kind of this, but like one iteration of it that was more coaching oriented. And I'm just trying to figure out the legalities behind doing this as a therapist and not as a coach. You know, it's a whole licensing thing. So yeah, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Are you interested in this at all? Am I onto something here? Does this already exist? Because I realize I don't want to teach people to pole dance because I care about them being good dancers. I don't care about the skills part. I care about the like deep inner work, transformation, change, healing part. And so it's like, I don't want to be a pole teacher, but I do want to be a pole dance therapist, you know? So let me know what you think. Are you curious about this? Do you want me to keep sharing my journey? And would you come to that kind of workshop? Would you do those individual sessions? I'm so curious. And again, not to become a better dancer, although you probably would on the DL. But to like heal and like heal from depression and anxiety and PTSD and anorgasmia and pain with sex and low libido and all these things that we talk about all the time. So, yeah, chronic pain, perimenopause, coming back into your body at menopause with perimenopause and menopause, finding your sexuality post-trauma. Like, these are the things that I really am so passionate about. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Step 0. We're on step 0, babe. All right. Bye.